Hello, welcome back to anyone who's ever tuned into my channel. I am going to do 10 videos in 10 days, and I'm going to use this director's view because I don't want you to just have to look at my ugly face. Look at something beautiful instead. So I am recording this in Thailand, on the beach, obviously, and I want to talk a little bit about culture, and initiation. I've been traveling around for many years now, well, several years, and I run into a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds that come from a lot of different cultures, and no matter what culture they're from, no matter where their background is based, whether they came from money or not, none of it inevitably matters, because we always end up talking about something that's far greater than the cult, far greater than the culture, and in many cases those kind of conversations turn into conversations about initiation, or even the lack thereof, the lack of initiation. So a lot of what's said goes unheard because of this cult and this culture that we live in, and much of what's heard gets, I want to say, misunderstood is the best way to put it. There's some kind of saying, never attribute to malice that which you can attribute to ignorance, something to that effect. I always suck at quotes. But basically, I don't think people do anything directly out of malice most of the time. I mean, our motivations as human beings aren't shifted that direction. There are the outliers, of course. But we get initiated into this cult. And I'm sorry, but if you don't think you're in a cult, you're fucking mistaken. You are programmed to the hilt. Just the fact that you go by the name that your mother calls you is enough. The family cult is the first cult you get introduced to, the cult of the family. Whatever the culture of your family is, that's where your initiation begins. Now, there's supposed to be a point of initiation that we all go through in our, say, teenage years, let's call them. Even though the word teenager didn't even exist until, I think, the 50s when it was coined. It was coined in the 50s, which is really nothing but this prolonged, extended period of adolescence that turns into what it actually is it's a prolonged labor. Like the labor that your mother goes through before you enter this world, before you exit her gate. That same labor pain takes place, and again in our lives, around that age of 13 to 14 years old. 12, 13, 14, right in there. But those labor pains are supposed to be felt by the individual, not by the mother. And in our culture, that's just not, well, the culture I come from, right? That's just not happening at all. There is no initiation. There is no rites. There are no rites. There are no more rituals. God is dead. And we have our young people completely floundering, completely adrift in the cult of our society. And man, that's so incredibly sad. It's such a sad thing to see so many young people completely lost. Just lost. So I decided to make these 10 videos because some guy who's like about my age, he made a video that said, you should at least make 10 videos. Share something good with other people. If you have something that you feel is good or has value, then you should do it. You should at least make 10 videos, put them on the internet, and who knows? Who gets to see you, this way. I can't remember where I heard it. Another quote, I'm probably gonna fuck up. But it's like you never know who your audience is. Yeah, you never know who your audience is. You don't know who's listening. And if you do know who's listening, you don't know. Fuck. If you think you know what's going on inside their head, you're sadly mistaken about that as well. But, so I decided I'm gonna make 10 videos in 10 days. And I absolutely hate doing this. It's not something I'm terribly comfortable with doing. And I feel like a dick sitting on the beach with a phone in my hand instead of just enjoying. But I don't want to just shoot a boring video with, well, probably boring as hell anyways, but like, I don't want to shoot like just a boring video of you just looking at my face hearing me talk for 10 minutes. That's horrible. I wouldn't watch that. So instead, look at these nice boats and watch the tides come in and out. Well, not both. So, anyways, where was I? Got about 2 more minutes before I'm gonna wrap this up. All right, so 10 videos, 10 days, and I decided to make it about 10 things. First, I said it's gonna be the 10 things that I wish I could tell my little sister, because she's got young children, and I want, of course, the very best for her and her family, and I just love them too much. So I was gonna call it that, but that felt a little too personal. So I decided I'm just gonna call these the 10 things that I'm gonna tell, or the 10 things that I should tell people I love. And what's unfortunate is that the people that you love typically don't love your message, and that's true for everyone. It takes a really kind of unless you're naturally this type of person, it takes a lot to really separate yourself from what someone is saying and just have like an objective view of the message that's being delivered. So, or I don't know, objective, subjective, fucking English language is insane. So yeah, in order to get the most out of, I guess, what I'm trying to say here in these 10 videos, without any period of initiation in your life, without being able to come to terms with the fact that you're in a cult, we talk about these things like cults. Jehovah's Witnesses are cults, or I don't know. There's been a whole bunch of them. The moon people, all those people who put on Nikes and killed themselves 20 years, well shit, it's like 40 years ago now or whatever. All those people. Are they cults? And if so, how is their cult any different from your cult? I mean, there's no one that can tell me what day it is. The only reason I'm going to call today Monday is because somebody else said it's Monday. I don't give a fuck how far back you look in history. That's literally what happened. Somebody said it was fucking Monday, and everyone else, get on board, motherfucker. Get on board with the programming. Can't tell me what day it is. Can't tell me what date it is for sure. Yeah, so I mean, let's just start with the basics. I know it's daytime right now. I see the sun is out. So a lot of things can be perceived in a lot of different ways. But that's enough from me. It's been 11 minutes. Ciao, ciao for now.